A community in shock.
It's just kind of hitting me now. Just a feeling of loss.
Our hearts are broken for these families and for these kids. We all still feel this is a nightmare that we're going to wake up from. It's not true.
The death toll of victims rising to at least 21. And now we're learning about the lives that were taken too soon. The devastation spreading well beyond South Texas.
It's every parent's worst nightmare.
Everybody is very tight-knit here. And to see and have phone calls and messages left and right, it's just heartbreaking.
We continue our coverage of the Uvalde school massacre right now.
The Uvalde school massacre is really weighing heavily on all our hearts here as we learn more about the 21 lives that were taken.
And those victims as young as 8 years old. Teachers putting their lives on the line to save the most innocent.
So on your screen, you're going to see the names, the faces of the identified victims. Now, a few we already told you about yesterday as the story was breaking, but today we have more names, more photos. Alicia Ramirez, 10 years old. Amerie Jo Garza, 10 years old. Anabel Rodriguez, 10. Eliana Cruz Torres. And we have Jackie Casares, also 10 years old.
Jayla Nicole Silguero, 8 years old. Jace Carmelo Luevanos, 10 years old. Rogelio Torres, 10 years old. Uzziah Garcia, 8 years old. And Javier James Lopez, 10 years old. Also 2 teachers taken yesterday, Ava Mireles and Irma Garcia. And there are even more victims whose names we are still learning, just trying to learn this evening.
Now, as far as victims, people who were injured in this, 4 people remain at University Health. They are recovering tonight. We're learning today that the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office is really working overtime here to bring closure to those affected families.
And also today, Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home announcing that it will provide funeral services for all the victims at no cost. Right now on our website, we have an article telling you more about the people who lost their lives in this senseless act, what we know about them and how their families, the people who knew them best and whose hearts are now broken, are now remembering them. This article is constantly being updated. You can find all the information at KSAT.com.
Now, we still have several crews in the Uvalde area getting the latest information on the shooting, also help from the community, and they're also sharing the stories of those who were really affected by this tragedy.
Let's go right now to our Steve Spriester, who is at the Herbie Ham Activity Center. Steve, you're there along with Lee Waldman, we understand. This is an area where a blood donation has popped up.
Yeah, you know, we talked at 5 o'clock a little bit about this community coming together to heal. They're also coming together to help. I'm going to step out of frame now because this is a blood drive that began at 8 a.m. this morning with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. Some of the people that you see sitting behind me, they have been here since 9 this morning. They are still waiting to give blood. This was supposed to shut down at 2 o'clock because so many people were here. They are keeping it open until they get all the people that had appointments in. Like I said, these are people who have been here since 9 this morning. Now, some of them are from Uvalde, yes. Some of them are also from Eagle Pass. There's even a few people here who made the drive down from San Antonio to help out Uvalde. And I want to give you some facts about San Antonio and how they have helped out in Uvalde. The San Antonio Fire Department sent several personnel over, 2 medic officers, 3 medical units, and a medic special operations unit. 15 units of whole blood flown to the scene from San Antonio. A peer support team of 5 members and a San Antonio Fire Department psychologist was also deployed. And when we talk about blood drive, here today alone, they have taken in around 100 people that have given blood here. In all of the South Texas blood and tissue areas, in their locations, their offices, they've had more than 800 people. They are booked through next Wednesday. That is how great the outpouring of support has been to try to help the people here in Uvalde. Now, let me give you a number. You can call 210-731-5590, or we also have this information available on KSAT.com if you want to make an appointment. Again, they are booked through Wednesday, so your appointment would be after next Wednesday. But again, it's also very important for those of us that have already made appointments, for those of us who are planning on helping out, to show up, because there are so many people that want to give blood right now. Please show up at your appointed time. Now, Lee Waldman and I have been out and about in the community, and we have talked to several people. And I talked to a couple, Lee, earlier. They've lived in Uvalde all their lives. Their question: how do you put the pieces together when there are pieces missing? We talked to these ladies earlier. Here's a little bit of what they had to say. How many tears have you two shed?
I couldn't sleep last night. I still do. But it's all we can do is pray. Yeah. Pray and kneel and you know, hopefully these young kids will learn something from this. I don't know. It's just hard.
One of those grandmothers told me that one of the victims in this shooting was actually at her house last weekend for her granddaughter's birthday party. Her granddaughter knew her very well. She had so much fun. She was full of life. And that grandmother says it's hard to believe right now that that life is gone. And that's a sentiment that you hear from so many people around here as they raise up the placards, remember their names, Uvalde strong, Robb Elementary will rise.
It's amazing to see how many people, they say everyone here is connected because it's not a very big town. Everyone here knows someone somehow, and they're all feeling this pain like it was their own loved one who passed and was killed during this horrific tragedy. We want to show you some video actually from Robb Elementary from earlier today. That video shows you that officers are taking flowers from members of the community, laying them on the school sign at Robb Elementary. There's balloons lining the fence for each of the people killed, 19 children, 2 teachers heading into that elementary school. So many people in this community taking this moment to stop and see that school to make this feel real. We spoke with Consuelo Enriquez today. She went to Robb Elementary School and she grew up not far away from the school as well. Since then, she has moved to San Antonio. Now she is back again. She says she feels connected and feels everyone else's loss in this community.
Everybody is very tight-knit here. And to see and have phone calls and messages left and right yesterday about everything going on, and people can't find their babies. And a lot of my friends lost cousins and nieces and their own kids. You know, it's just heartbreaking.
What I've seen here, Steve, is these kids aren't just the kids of their parents. They are the community's children. The teachers, those are the community's teachers. And Enriquez told me, she said, the only silver lining here in this situation is the fact the community is coming in together and saying we're going to get through this together. Our love will conquer that person's hate.
And I think the sense of community, at least in my opinion, what I'm feeling here goes beyond Uvalde right now. Like I said, people behind us that have become the best of friends from Eagle Pass, from Uvalde, from San Antonio. I mean, they are all coming together. And I asked the two ladies, the longtime residents of Uvalde, if they were feeling that love from around the community. And they said, oh, yes. They're fielding many calls from people around the country worried about Uvalde.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, you know, how do you explain this? You know, there's such a feeling of despair, of, you know, what can I do? And for those who are closest to what happened at Robb Elementary, there's almost a sense of numb. Our Courtney Friedman says that's actually normal. She talked to 2 therapists, 2 psychologists who help people soften the road ahead.
When the pain is too overwhelming and nothing makes sense, our bodies respond.
What happens initially when someone goes through a trauma is their brain sort of shuts down and they go into automatic survival mode.
It's a stage of grief that leaves many people feeling numb.
They really need to get through that stage, get through the funeral, get back into a routine. And that's when we can look at some of those more perhaps longer term therapies.
Ashley Jesse with the Children's Bereavement Center counseled many Sutherland Springs community members and still does today. She hopes people suffering in Uvalde will get help now if they can.
Our counselors have been available for the families and the community at large and law enforcement in Uvalde since yesterday afternoon and into the evening last night. We're back again today.
Ecumenical Center CEO Mary Beth Fisk squeezed in a quick conversation with us from the Uvalde Family Resource Center, where she's helping people attempt to process the unfathomable. But she says that's not the only place people can get this crucial help.
Families come here to the bereavement center. They will share a meal out here. Then the adults will come together in here in the living room for a group session. And the kids come up to rooms like this art room to process their feelings together in a creative and healthy way.
Jesse and Fisk say when talking to someone who's endured trauma, the best thing you can do isn't talking. It's listening.
Just being there for someone, and I'm sorry, this is a horrible thing that happened. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to sit with you. You let me know what you need, and a person will let you know.
In times like this, nothing helps like love, kindness, and empathy. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Now, if you want to speak with a counselor, you can start by reaching out to the Ecumenical Center. Their number is 210-616-0885 or the Children's Bereavement Center at 210-736-4847. We also have that information online on KSAT.com. And as far as latest developments here, shortly before 5 o'clock, they did remove the alleged gunman's vehicle that he ran into a ditch before he exchanged gunfire with several people and then proceeded to go into Robb Elementary. That vehicle has been removed. That part of the investigation appears to be over. There are still a lot of people, a lot of investigators that are sifting through the hallways of Robb Elementary. And as Lee so aptly put, there is also a makeshift memorial of flowers that have been placed in front of Robb Elementary because, as Lee said, these are not just these parents' kids. At this point, they're a community's children. Live from Uvalde, Steve Spriester, KSAT 12 News.
Steve, to both you and Lee, thank you for your reporting out there in Uvalde. And Steve touched on this, that the heartache and the devastation, it is being felt well beyond that community tonight. Right here in San Antonio, there was an opportunity this evening for people to mourn and to really just lean on each other.
Yeah, we're holding an interfaith community service. It's happening right now at San Fernando Cathedral.
And that is where we find our Camelia Juarez. The prayer vigil just got started. Describe to us what's happening out there tonight.
Well, Stephania, Myra, like you said, the event just got started. People are slowly starting to trickle in. There's about 100 or so people. They just released some balloons right now. Now, many of the people say that they came to have some action, do something besides doom scroll. We've seen people bring flowers, balloons, candles. The mayor, the county judge, sheriff, and police chief also joined us at this service, but one San Antonio man, Antonio Infante, says he came to be with the community, especially because this hits so close to home.
Last night it did hit me the hardest. The fact that it was, it's Uvalde, and it's a bunch of Chicanos and, just people just trying to make it out there, and I can see my family in them and, just seeing the pictures of some of those kids, and
Now, if you're at home and you're feeling helpless, there are things you can do to help. You can donate blood, or the Bexar County DA set up 2 funds. Proceeds will go directly to the victim's family or those surviving victims. There are children in the hospital as we speak, and the other fund will go to nonprofits serving the Uvalde community. Now, you can donate at the San Antonio Area Foundation /Uvalde. Stephania, Myra.
All right, thank you, Camelia. This story will continue developing. It is our mission to bring you the very latest. For all the up-to-date information, scan this QR code. That will take you right to everything we know so far, along with all of our coverage and ways that you can help out. We'll be right back. It is a local police department that still allows the use of chokeholds. We're talking about Via Transit Police Force, and it's just one of the signs that some say show they're behind the times and unwilling to change.
The department doesn't have a plan to create or change any future policies.
You'll hear from an ex-Via employee who says that Via officers used intimidation tactics. That's coming up at 6:30 in a defender's investigation. Meantime, let's turn to the weather now, and things really changed outside today.
Big time. I mean, beautiful, clear, blue skies. I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than this, Adam.
Yeah, and it's quite a change from what we've had most of May around here. Actually below average for the morning low and the afternoon high. We do have a bit to talk about here. Unseasonably cool tonight. Temperatures, of course, will quickly rebound as the reality of May returns and sets back in. And we do have the hurricane forecast from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration for the Atlantic Basin this season. We're going to start with that. Let's take a look at it. No surprise here. Forecast is to be an above average season. One reason is the persistent La Nina, which often contributes to more activity than usual in the Atlantic Basin, and which includes the Gulf of Mexico, and warmer than average sea surface temperatures. So about 14 to 21 named storms is the prediction of those 6 to 10 hurricanes. Here's the key, the 65% chance of an above average season. That's basically what they're giving it here. So that season starts June 1st. Let's talk about our rainfall that we got. You look at the aquifer zones, we especially love to get the rain right here in this middle purple area. And we did get some decent rainfall in the aquifer recharge zone and even the drainage zone. So that was good. The aquifer is up nearly a foot today and likely still responding to the rain and soaking it in. But most rain gauges reported under an inch of rain, and at the airport just under half an inch. A clear sky today. The cold front that we had moved through, which caused our showers and thunderstorms last night, that's now far to the east of us, crossing over the Mississippi. A broken line of showers and thunderstorms along it, so there still is some activity. It's a wound up system though. Even its upper level support is pretty impressive. You can see this big swirl in the satellite and radar imagery there. That's moving out. It's going to be replaced by an upper level high. So Big Blue H pays us a visit, and that's going to modify things a bit. What we see out there right now with this blue sky, get used to it. No rain chances in the foreseeable future. But check this out. Earlier this morning, 6 degrees below average. This afternoon, 3 degrees below average. So we saw quite a little dip in our temperatures compared to what we've had most of May with extremely warmer than average conditions. So this little bit of a reset here over the past few days and including today. 86 right now, dew point of 47. Lack of mugginess in the air. The humidity is low. That cold front swept away the humidity. Bit of a northerly breeze today. Look what it did for our dew points. I mean, we're down in the 40s to near 50 for the dew point. And this time of year, we often don't see this type of a break for very long. And I don't anticipate this lack of humidity to last more than about another day or so. By this weekend especially, that southeasterly wind that we're so accustomed to off the Gulf of Mexico, that's going to pick up. Temperature-wise, though, let's talk about it. Right now, mostly in the 80s. Canyon Lake, Uvalde 82, Uvalde 84, 83 Bandera, 84 in Converse, officially 86 at the airport in town. And check this out. By tomorrow morning, we are anticipating to be right near 60 degrees. That's about 9 degrees below average for this time of year in many outlying areas into the 50s. So Comfort, Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, about 57, New Braunfels, Seguin, 59 degrees tomorrow morning. Then nothing but sunshine, 92 for the afternoon high. So the afternoon temperatures will be swinging back up above average starting tomorrow. More specifically, Rio Medina about 89, Bulverde, you'll be 87 degrees, Timberwood Park about 88, Floresville 92, you get to Elmendorf about 92 for the high temperature tomorrow. Nothing but sunshine the rest of the week. Temperatures warming a little bit, but most notably the mornings. We'll go from near 60 tomorrow morning back into the lower 70s for morning temperatures this upcoming weekend. That's also an indication of higher humidity, but unfortunately that humidity is not going to lead to any rain chances.
All right, Adam, thank you.
And we'll be right back. We're continuing our coverage of the tragedy in Uvalde. A man tried to help the shooter yesterday before he went on his deadly rampage. And today we spoke with that man. His name is Albert Vargas. He says he, along with several others, ran to help the shooter after he crashed a truck into a ditch. But moments later, they were running for cover. Vargas says the gunman stepped out of the vehicle with an automatic weapon and began to shoot at them.
Out with an automatic weapon, shot at least twice, maybe 3 times at them, and then he saw me, which I turned around and started running, and he popped 2 at me. Wow, I knew that something wasn't right, but I had no idea he was going to go to the school or anything.
Now, none of those men had any serious injuries. Vargas says that today he is dealing with feelings of guilt, now knowing what the shooter did moments after Vargas saw him. Vargas says that he removed a pistol from his own vehicle just 2 days ago.
Uvalde is the latest mass shooting in Texas, and in an effort to track what lawmakers have done after similar tragedies, the defenders today analyzed the records of local elected leaders and how they voted on past gun measures. Now, laws geared toward improving firearm safety had significant bipartisan support in our area. It is worth noting that Representative Tracy King, whose district includes Uvalde, voted last year to pass House Bill 1927. That's the so-called constitutional carry law that allows Texans to carry handguns without a license. Firearm safety advocates call it a, quote, dangerous bill.
I would certainly ask that lawmakers look very closely at their decisions and whether they're aligning with public safety.
Now, King did not respond to an email seeking comment that was sent to his state representative's office in Austin.
Still to come, the Via police force under fire for staying in their old ways. The criticisms, and you'll hear the criticisms and how Via is responding in a defender's investigation next.
It's a medium-sized law enforcement agency that's recently found itself entangled in a number of high-profile incidents, and we're talking about Via Transit Police.
And tonight, their chief is pushing back on criticism that his department operates under a veil of secrecy and refuses to adopt reforms.
Even as members of the Transit Authority's own board say that more should be done to educate the public about its law enforcement role.
Our Dylan Collier jumping into the debate in this Defenders Report.
I can't breathe. Eric Garner said those words 11 times before finally dying on this Staten Island sidewalk, a victim of a New York Police Department chokehold. The resulting outrage leading to protests, and years later, New York criminalizing the use of chokeholds by police officers.
Trust between law enforcement and the community has been broken for a long time.
Ananda Thomas, head of the public safety reform group Act for SA, points out that Via Metropolitan Transit Police still allow chokeholds in deadly force situations. The San Antonio Police Department, by comparison, has outright banned the sometimes deadly technique.
But there's another issue here, transparency. For example, SAPD has many of its policies and procedures online. The Via Police Department, meanwhile, barely has a web presence at all.
And policing is constantly evolving, and we need to know that your policies and practices and trainings are updating with society.
For example, despite the national concern about shootings by police officers and Via PD specifically being enmeshed in several notable encounters with the public the past 13 months, including a shooting by its officers on a bus last year that resulted in an in-custody death of a man with a gun, the department still has no policy on releasing critical incident video. The defenders the past year have repeatedly asked Via for footage of significant incidents involving their officers or the transit authority's property, and have been repeatedly denied after attorneys for Via asked the Texas Attorney General to intercede.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I don't agree with the assertion that we're not transparent.
Mark Witherell, Via's chief of police and system security, says that as far as outright banning chokeholds or releasing critical incident video, it isn't in the cards.
The department doesn't have a plan to create or change any future policies without the need to change them or without the direction from our accrediting body or our governing body.
He also says his 60-person department handled 28,000 calls last year, and that officers from its accredited agency are trained above and beyond minimum state standards. However, at least one former VIA bus driver says improvements are needed.
I mean, I feel like they use intimidation tactics.
Antonio Padron says he loved working as a driver, but Padron's observations of VIA police, officers in charge of protecting the transit system's riders, employees, and properties, are far from positive.
They're very demeaning, and also I feel like they don't want to deal with a lot of the situations that they handle.
He says it was one reason he left his job and the agency earlier this year.
With the way that the work culture is right now, I don't see myself going back.
As for Thomas, last month her group published a list of recommended reforms for VIA police that she also hopes will help improve other law enforcement entities around San Antonio. VIA officials were quick to sit down with Thomas and other members of her organization. And while she described the meeting as a positive, free-flowing conversation,
Really, at the end of the day, it was, we're going to review what you, the community, have brought forth, and we will get back to you. What we want to know is that you have nothing to hide and you're willing to be transparent to us.
For the Defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
Now, there is one reform that VIA police appear to be on board with, publishing some of their operating procedures online. Chief Witherell says that VIA currently doesn't have the technology to do that, but 2 technology contracts out for bid could soon change that. In the meantime, we've posted their police procedures released to us on our website at ksat.com.
We continue our coverage of the Uvalde school massacre just outside of that city. Several communities are stepping up to help Uvalde heal.
Now let's go back to Uvalde with our own Steve Spriester. Steve.
Myra, Stefania, thank you and welcome to the Herbie Ham Activity Center, where we have been documenting just how many people have been showing up here to give blood. 8 a.m. they opened. By 9:30 they had already filled for the day, and I'm happy to report that there's one person who is still waiting, has been waiting since 9 o'clock to give blood. And I want to give you totals here. Of all the South Texas Blood and Tissue Centers, 1,052 people have been seen today. Just here in Uvalde, 125, and all of those sites are booked through Wednesday. So if you have an appointment, show up. The latest from here in Uvalde is that there are 19 students that were killed, 2 adults. They removed the truck of the alleged gunman shortly before 5 o'clock. That part of the investigation is over, but it is still a very active investigation taking place at Robb Elementary. This is a small community where everybody knows everybody else. I talked to a man today who had 2 cousins that were inside Robb Elementary. One of them was shot and killed. The other one shot and wounded. Let's listen to what Cody had to say to me earlier.
I cried about it last night. I cried about it on the way here. Earlier, I was trying to talk to a guy. I was crying, and thankfully, in this moment, I'm able to have composure to speak with you. But I mean, the depth of and the seriousness of the loss of these innocent children, I mean, that doesn't ring more true than with me.
It certainly rings true. And as you drive through downtown Uvalde, Highway 90 turns into Main Street here in Uvalde, and you see the signs that young people were holding up. Remember their names, talking about the victims. Uvalde Strong. In front of Robb Elementary, there's a sign that simply says, Robb will rise. And there are a lot of people who are trying to come together, trying to heal, and trying to lend each other support in this moment. And we've also been looking into the Texas Public School security measures that are in place in the state and protections for teachers and students. Our RJ Marquez has this part of the story. He tells us about 2 recent bills that were meant to help prevent tragedies like this at our schools and how teacher associations are reacting to yet another horrible incident inside our classrooms.
After the Santa Fe High School shooting in 2018, Texas lawmakers passed 2 bills in the legislative session that increased campus security and teacher training. One of them was Senate Bill 11.
Required the hardening of school buildings, local school safety committees, emergency plans, threat assessments.
Dr. Shannon Holmes is the executive director for the Association of Texas Professional Educators. He tells us the other bill passed expanded the school marshal program. La Vernia is a local school district that recently voted to allow staff members to carry concealed weapons.
Those educators would have to go through a training program to be able to carry and make sure that they're proficient and understand the school's safety plan.
Despite those changes, Robb Elementary is now the latest Texas public school dealing with the devastation of another mass shooting.
Arming educators isn't the answer. That's just putting one more thing on their plate, on their already full and overflowing plate.
Ovidia Molina, the president of the Texas State Teachers Association, says lawmakers have not done enough to keep schools safe.
We need to ensure that our students don't have to go to a school that feels like a prison. These are things that are gut reactions that don't make our schools feel safe.
Dr. Holmes says more funding is needed when it comes to student counseling.
So that counselors can get back to doing some more actual counseling rather than administrative tasks.
And Molina adds that more staff training and school shooter exercises is not the answer.
Ensure that we are funding the whole child, and Texas is failing on that, so that another community doesn't have to go through the same hurt and pain that we're going through now.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And you know, we talk about Uvalde and the kind of community it is, less than 20,000 people in a lot of ways. Today felt like they were overwhelmed with the emotions of what happened. Lee Waldman joins me now. Overwhelmed by, frankly, the number of media that have descended on this small town. I know you were in front of Robb Elementary, and we were actually planning on going live from there at 5 and 6, but some neighbors asked us to move. So they could get out of their driveway, so they could move, and so we wanted to kind of focus on Uvalde itself and the names and the people that we've lost.
And the incredible acts of service people are doing here. The fact that people were sitting here in the heat at 9, starting at 9 this morning, and we're waiting here until this evening. I think that shows you who Uvalde really is and who Texas really is. The fact that people drove to this small community wanting to help, wanting to offer their own blood to help this community. It's just been beautiful to see.
Yeah, and one of the things we're going to talk about coming up tonight at 10 o'clock is some of that San Antonio help. We saw San Antonians who actually came all the way here to give blood, showed up at 8 o'clock, showed up at 9 o'clock, and are still waiting to. That's one of the last people to give blood is somebody from San Antonio. There are also a couple of at least 2 food trucks that they just loaded up their gear and came down here. And we talked to one of the owners of the food truck who just put out a sign in front of the Civic Center that said, free tacos.
Exactly. Well, also something that hit me last night was a mom and her husband drove with their 2 young kids and brought roses for each of the children who had passed. And it wasn't even the parents' idea, it was their children's idea. And she has 2 twin boys that are in the 3rd grade. And so to have kids that young wanting to help to drive from New Braunfels here, that just shows you the level of compassion our area has for what's happening here in Uvalde.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why you haven't heard the name of the alleged gunman, that is a decision that we have made at KSAT, that we are not going to give him any perceived glory in all of this. We're just calling him the alleged gunman at this point. There's plenty of information about him out there on social media if you want to go down that avenue. We're not going to do it. We're going to focus on the names of the people who are fighting for their lives and the names of the people that were lost. 19 students, 2 adults, and you put it so well earlier when you said this is not just the parents' children. At this point, this is a community's children.
Exactly. This community is so connected, so wanting to be together. Those are their children now. They will mourn together. They'll get through this together. They're going to show every single day their love will conquer hate. Love will conquer hate.
That's going to wrap up our coverage here during the 6 o'clock hour from Uvalde. Of course, we'll have much more continuing coverage coming up tonight on the Night Beat at 10. We'll be right back and continue at the 6 o'clock.
The ballots for the November midterm elections now set after runoff winners were selected in last night's Texas primary runoff election.
After you selected them. Now in Bexar County, more than 112,000 votes were cast. That includes early votes, mail-in, and also election day voters. So here's a breakdown now of some of those results. We're going to start with State Representative Ina Minjares going head-to-head with former District Court Judge Peter Sakai for the Democratic nomination. Now Sakai is heading to the midterms after securing 58% of the votes.
He will be up against Republican candidate Trish DeBerry, a former Bexar County commissioner who stepped down to run now for county judge.
Now, another race that we've had our eyes on is the Congressional District 28 race, which covers a large part of the South Texas U.S.-Mexico border. Incumbent Henry Cuellar against immigration attorney Jessica Cisneros, both sitting at 50% of the vote. However, Cuellar is slightly ahead in that vote count. He's already declared victory, but Cisneros has not conceded. Now, Cassie Garcia is a former staff member for Ted Cruz, and she was able to secure the nomination with a 57% lead against Sandra Whitten.
Let's take a look now at the race for Texas Attorney General. Also a runoff, both parties here. On the Republican side, incumbent Ken Paxton beating out George P. Bush. Paxton taking the nomination after winning with 69% of the vote last night. On the other side, the Democratic side, former staff attorney for the ACLU, Rochelle Mercedes Garza, with 63% of the vote, taking the lead over trial attorney Joe Jaworski. You can find all these election results right now at KSAT.com, including District 28, still a very close one. We'll be watching, and we'll be right back with the very latest.
Picked up some rainfall last night with some gusty winds as well. Some wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour with it. I want to compare the rain to the drought monitor. This is the drought monitor, and of course this big swath here right around San Antonio of the exceptional drought. That's the highest category or worst category of drought. But you see the rainfall that moved in, and it was a nice healthy drink of rain. A little bit of a drought denter, definitely not a drought buster, but better than, of course, nothing, and better than a dry pattern. But now we are settling into a dry pattern with nothing but sunshine in the foreseeable future. That's what we have outside today. Blue sky, 86 degrees right now. Here's the key. The dew point is 47. Lack of mugginess in the air. We don't see a break from the humidity very often this time of year. And when we do see it, it doesn't last very long. And this isn't going to last very long either, just through about midday tomorrow. And you look at the readings out there, 79 Rock Springs, 80 in Kerrville, Kennedy 87, Cotulla 88 degrees. I mean, you think back to, about this time last week when we were pushing 100 and we were well into the 90s. Very different story here. Helotes 83, Stinson right now on the south side 87. Check this out. Tomorrow morning, many outlying areas in the upper 50s. That's about 10 degrees below average for this time of year. So we're talking 59 in Seguin and Canyon Lake, Bulverde, Timberwood Park, Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, about 57. The most noticeable change temperature-wise will be the morning temperatures over the coming days. Tomorrow's going to be unseasonably cool, but then we warm up with increasing humidity. But this evening, enjoy it. No AC necessary, 70 degrees at 10 p.m. Tomorrow morning, we're right near 60, then a high temperature of 92. More specifically, low to mid 90s outside of the hill country, upper 80s in the hill country tomorrow. Sunny, mid 90s this upcoming holiday weekend with those warmer mornings.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Some of these survivors are almost too young to even understand what happened. Students at this elementary school. In fact, this rampage is difficult for almost anyone to understand.
We just hear all kinds of gunshots going off, like nonstop, like constantly gunshots. And then we're over here all scared on the ground, fearing for our lives.
The conversation has turned to mental health, to gun control, to safety. And that is why Governor Greg Abbott focused his attention on mental health today in this news conference that was held here.
Anyone who shoots his grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart. But it is far more evil for someone to gun down little kids.
It's over. This is totally predictable when you... Sir, you're out of line.
This is the only time that we are all focused
on what just happened. It's the only time to call for the action that we need.
That truck was actually removed from the canal, from the ditch where it crashed. Before that, gunman exchanged gunfire with several people and then went into Robb Elementary.
San Antonio's heart has been showing today over these last 24 hours. It is beautiful.
You know, I have a second grader, so I can't imagine, you know, getting a call and, you know, something happening to my son. So I just kind of want to do what, you know, I feel like I should do, and that's be here and donate blood.
Unseasonably cool in the morning, right near 60. Then by the afternoon, we make it up to 92 for the high temperature, mid-90s the rest of the week through the weekend with warmer mornings on the way. And that means higher humidity, too.
We'll just enjoy those lows while we can.
All right. Thank you, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you at 10.